All right, while we wait to be joined by our analyst for today, we also have a situation arising as some human rights activists and conveners of concerned Nigerians have filed a lawsuit against the Minister of Arts and Culture and Creative Economy, Hannatu Musawa, saying a relation that is serving member of the National Youth Service Corps and recently appointed into the cabinet of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And they are saying that Musawa cannot be an NYSC core member and also be a minister. And one of the renowned activists who joined in filing the suit were Chief Patrick Eholor and Barrister Samuel Ihenseken. And joining us on the program this morning is Chief Patrick Eholor, and he shall be giving us more details in regards to the lawsuit. Good morning, Mr. Patrick.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Let me quickly assist you in repronouncing my last name. Is Eholor. Okay. You don't pronounce it with E. It's Eholor, you know?
All right,
yes,
noted.
It's been existing for over 700 years, so we have to be very mindful of it, okay?
All right. All right, Chief Patrick Eholor. I hope I got that correct.
That's good. You are a very quick learner. That's very good. Wonderful.
All right, thank you so much for joining us at the press this morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. So, matters arising, you and some human rights activists have filed a lawsuit against Hannatu Musawa, saying a core member or a serving core member cannot be a minister. In your own opinion, why is this so?
Well, you know, thank you, audience. I think you guys are doing very well in your station. I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud to be part of you. You know. I am a litigant, and normally I would not want to, stress myself, getting into this necessary trouble. I call it necessary trouble because I'm always out there trying to, be the voice of the voiceless. Okay. Now, we need to respect our constitution. A country without constitution is more like a country in darkness. So, if you go to the constitution, it's clearly said there, they find it in that constitution that you cannot be an NYC member and also holding a position.
Yeah.
And they also clearly say that you have to be 30 years of age before you can be a member of House of Representatives. So if you look at our recent speech and all that, it is very conflicting. It's very obvious that she did not meet the requirement. And we cannot continue to use favoritism, nepotism in running Nigeria. It's time for us to save this house called Nigeria. And that is why the likes of me is interested, in challenging the constitution. Not necessarily that every case I'm pursuing that I have to win all the cases, but I need to set precedent. Because without precedent, there's no law. And that's the reason why we're saying that she's not qualified and she cannot be that minister based on the constitutional requirement.
Okay, so based on the constitutional requirement, you're saying she's underage to be a minister, and a serving corps member who is not, because I know that a serving corps member is not supposed to be political. So you're saying because a serving corps member is not supposed to be political, and in your own opinion, as a serving corps member should not be up to 30 years. So you say she has been disqualified because she's a serving corps member, and in your own opinion, she might not be up to 30. But then, where does this leave us? Why we keep on clamoring for youth inclusivity?
For me, it's not really about our age. It's about what the Constitution said. That if you are a serving corps member, you have to be neutral.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You don't need to get into politics at that time, and you don't need to get into any political appointment because of favoritism. So we are talking about the Constitution. I'm setting a precedent for you that the Constitution has already defined for us. So I am on this because of the Constitution. Because the Constitution has to be guarded. It's very important. We cannot be selective, because we know lately that most judges have become merchants of miseries. Because if we have a good judiciary system, these things that happen in this country will not happen at all. There will be no room for it. So we need to challenge the judiciary. We need to make sure that we checkmate them. We need to make sure that we police them to do what is right. So we can still have the house called Nigeria.
All right. So if you're clamoring for this, where does this leave us in our call for youth inclusivity? Because don't you think her appointment gave the youth some kind of hope?
there is no reward in illegitimacy. Okay, that is why Nigeria is a comic or become a comic already. Now you have some people who came into power under fraudulent malpracticing, and they want to be called excellency. No, you are my excellency. You are my excellency. I would rather address you as my excellency than to address some governors or senators as excellency, because there's nothing excellent about fraudulent malpracticing. We are not disenfranchising youth participation in politics or employment, but we are saying it has to become legitimately. There's a difference between participation or not participation, legitimate or illegitimate. If the Constitution said you cannot do this, you cannot say because she's young, then we cannot sacrifice everything to abuse the Constitution. Are you getting me?
Yes.
That is why it's good for the court to interpret it. That is why I'm taking them to court. So the same court that bind the Constitution will not interpret it for us, so we know where we are.
Okay.
We are not trying to discriminate against that. We need more youth and more women. I'm an advocate of women and youth participation, because the old people need to be retired, the old brigade. They have not helped us, they have not done us any good, and that's why in my last article, excuse me, I was praising the military. I thought, why you praising the military? You, if you are civil rights. I said, no, because every bridges we are using today, hospitals, night care, name it all. It was during the military we had this infrastructure. This is the inception of the democracy. What have they done for us? What have we gained? And that's why you are hearing different coups here and here in West Africa, because God forbid we don't have it in our country. So we must strengthen our judiciary. We must strengthen our democracy. We must not be sentimental. There must not be, this feeling of, oh, it's the youth. Wow, we are not withholding youth. I'm the advocate for youth and women, but we must do it in the right way.
All right. I wasn't going to go in this direction, but since you just made mention of the military, there are achievements as a country under the military, and you also made mention of the military coups in some of the African countries. I want to know your personal opinion on these issues.
My personal opinion is very clear. Look at how young versatile you are. Listen, any man, your husband will not want you to work. Your husband want to do everything to respect you, to respect your home, to take care of your children. If your home is good, would you divorce your husband? The answer is no. You will not. The home that is happy, the bed is shaking 24 hours. All right? There's no sadness in that home. So if the democracy is affecting we Africans, what is the need of coup? There should be no need of coup. Because the military are there to defend our sovereignty, not to overthrow or topple us. Because somebody has been in power for 53 years. It's not a monarchy. It's not a monarchy. And look at this France. This France, listen, I've been going to Paris for about 40 years. It's light up 24 hours. People that own the uranium, the Niger people, they are in darkness. This is man-to-man injustice. It's so unkind what they are doing to us. All right? And they are using some of we Africans to oppress us, to enslave us, because they have some top secret against these people. And that's why they use them against us. I would say we practice democracy. If this is democracy, it's a demonstration of madness, according to Fela Rasamkote. May so rest in peace. This is madness, not for Africa. Because we have never. In the last parliamentary they hold, Ambassador said they have credited our account for holiday, we should go and enjoy. Later I turn it to a spiritual joke and all that. They are taking us for granted. What would 8,000 do for us as politics? 8,000 cannot buy a hamburger. 8,000 cannot buy chicken chips. So we must stand up ourselves to say enough is enough. Go to Rwanda. Look at how they have torn Rwanda to. Rwanda is one of the most beautiful countries in Africa, because the man stood up and said, this is not democracy. We must be tough. We must do things the right way, not the Oyibo way at all times.
Okay. Now this brings me back to the statement you made earlier, where you said you won't call some people in Nigeria your excellency because they didn't get, in your opinion, they didn't get power through the right source. And then after your other speech, you said, and I quote, "May it not happen to Nigeria." That was when you spoke about the coup. But then you also said that it has so far been a step in the right direction for some of the African countries that have been faced with these issues. But then you don't want it to come to Nigeria. Why so?
No, because you see, let me tell you something. When Shore was detained, not talking about revolution. But not to abuse that word revolution, but because sacrifice lamb, okay? In Nigeria, because we are not living in true democracy, it's autocracy. You have to guide your word because they can use any word to name you and throw you in jail and silence you.
Yeah.
So I'm very careful. I will not be the one to pray for military to happen in Nigeria. I will be the one to pray that we should strengthen our democracy. That if our democracy is not being strengthened, people have the right to take over the parliament. People have the right to take over the airport. People have the right to take over the street because our right is our life. And we have the right to defend and protect our life every time. Because the government swore on oath that they are going to protect life and property. Are you getting it, my dear? Are you getting it? There's no light. There's no water. There's no road. There's no hospital. Are you getting it? Tell me what you have benefited from democracy, please. Tell me, and I will shut up.
Well, I know that we are not where we're supposed to be, but I know that we are not where we used to be. So I think it's a thing of growth, and maybe at some point in Nigeria, we will grow into the kind of democracy that we truly desire.
I think it should be now or never, because it's time. And then we'll start making comparative with America. America has been trying for 220 years. No! Nigeria are best in everything they do. I've lived in Canada for 35 years. If you look at the higher income earner in America is Nigeria. If you look at the most educated people in foreign migrants is Nigeria. It's the same thing with Canada. Something must be wrong with our leadership. And I can tell you without shame, we can take it to the bank. I left this country without education. I went to another adult school in Canada. Adult school. I didn't have a political school in Nigeria. I went and I became a poet without a primary or secondary education in Nigeria. Can you imagine that? People here, they kill your talent, they kill your dream. Now the rate of prostitution is going high. The rate of drug is going high. The rate of depression is high. Nobody to run to. You don't have counselors. Counselors are supposed to take care of, we go back to a different direction, different day. Canada. Do you know today we don't have restraint dead? My in-law that died in Canada, I still go and visit her in her graveyard. I still go there and give her flower. I still go there and play music. I still go there and eat and drink. But here, you can never go to a cemetery. Do we have one? No. People go to a cemetery and regard this. We have no dignity when we're living. We have no dignity when we die. That's why Nigeria is having a problem. We don't even respect our ancestors. Do Nigeria have a cemetery? I'm asking you. No. No place where you are alive, no place where you die.
Well, Nigeria has some cemeteries around the country.
Where are they? Visit one, please. Go and do investigating, journalism, and visit one. You will cry. Go visit their loved one. When was the last time you visited your grandmother? Where was she buried at? If it was good, we'll go there. Go to 24 hours in Canada, in America, in China, everywhere in the world. You can go to cemetery and visit your loved one. And then they can remind you. They can remind you of what they taught you when they were here. They can remind you of what to do, how to be kind to people, how to be happy, how to be loving. But today we don't have those things. We don't have it, my dear. Let us not pretend it. Okay? But money is being budgeted on it every year. Alright? I can go on. I think somebody called me for. Do we not have a Ministry of Water Resources? Do you have tap in your house? No, you don't have. What you have is a borehole.
True.
You're shaking the head to get water. So this is wrong in Nigeria. Everything is wrong in Nigeria.
But some people can actually still boast of using the water board, especially here in the FCT. Some people here in the FCT live and depend on the water board.
Are they working? That's what I'm asking you.
Some, yes, in some places.
When I was going to school in my early days, when we are tasting, we open tap and drink water. The water was treated. Is it not retrogression? Are we not supposed to be progressing? Why are we retrogressing? That's what I'm asking you. Not tell me one thing that is working. Nigeria is the only country that doesn't have institutions. Men are the institutions. Nigeria is the only person where somebody went and go and borrow airplane from Ethiopia Airline and display that we have planes. We're going to launch. Took out the money. As we speak now, the matter they are killing it. Nigeria is the only person where you have the accountant general stole over 430 billion when our children was on strike for 8 months at home. And they went to go and marry 16 years old girl. Only in Nigeria. These people are called a specialist in China. I just came back from China. When they do the security them in Market Square. I've been an advocate of death sentence for a long time. That anybody who steals a common patrimony should be executed to serve as a deterrent. And that's where the country is in Nigeria. I'm angry. Please do not ask me why I'm angry. I'm not yelling at you, but I'm very angry and I'm frustrated. You know, when I was coming to Nigeria, my friend said, "Why are you going to here?" I said, "Well, I've never been there. Let me go and try." But I was arrested. Yes, when I was arrested in ENSAT, I really see that sanitary, there was no brush, there was nothing. So I now realize that there's between here and heaven is here on earth. Because when I was in Canada, I was living in heaven. When I came to Nigeria, I become living here. I'm in here in Nigeria. No matter what you have in Nigeria, you are not enjoying life, you are pretending. Nigeria is the only country where you cannot have comfort with your wife or your girlfriend because the military men are the gate trying to hear the sound of the orgasm. I mean, are we mad?
But I just want to believe that Nigeria is in a growth phase and we'll get to some part, or to get to where some part of the world are right now. But back to the issue of Hannatu Musawa, what do you hope to achieve at the end of this particular case that you've taken to court?
What I feel is that she's going to be recalled back. She will not continue as a minister. We're going to set the precedent. And if she do continue as a minister, then I've already set the precedent. And then when I'm no longer here again, people can refer to such case. If it was good, if it was bad, then it becomes a history. And that's what I intend to do on this, because we cannot continue to live on illegality. We cannot reward people because they rig election for us. Look at, for example, what they did with Professor KM, giving a minister of aviation. What do you know about aviation? Is that Raza? What do you know anything about that? It was only this administration. You have people who were already in high school when they were three years old. I think that we took a bow. We cannot continue to live like that.
Yeah.
We cannot get anywhere if we are going to continue like that. Where we are going to be giving people who are qualified. This is the only country where people will say, I'm going to go pray. It's most time. They close institution. I'm going to pray. Nothing will happen. It's the only place people say, I'm going to go worship God. I'm fasting. I close the whole institution. Nothing happen. It can't continue like that. It cannot. The reason why I say this is that I have lived in Canada for 36 years. Okay? I know how it works. I know things can get better. We have the human resources. We have the mineral resources. We can do better as a country. But we only do it when we stop nepotism, favoritism. Because Buhari said, if corruption doesn't kill us, if we don't kill corruption, corruption will kill us. But Buhari literally killed us before he left the corruption. Because those remember by him were all corrupt people. That's why we are in this quagmire. Believe me, sister.
All right. Thank you so much, Chief Patrick Eholor. It's been amazing talking to you. We hope to get some more details on how this case actually turns out in court. Like you said, you leave it to the courts to the judiciary to do justice to that situation. Let's see how that goes. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
I appreciate you, but let me remind you, viewers, that all eyes are on the judiciary. God bless you. Have a good day.
Yes, all eyes on the judiciary. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Good morning, Elder Zion.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Elder Zion. How are you doing today?
I'm okay.
Fine, thank you.
Thank you very much. Briefly, I just want to comment on the incident of yesterday.
Okay.
The two that took place in Gabon. It's rather unfortunate, but it has to happen because it must happen.
Yes.
I know many African leaders are grounded. They were surprised because they were trying to stop what is going on through invention in Niger. But another one come and happen. I want us to tell the African leaders to come down, let them go to closed door meeting with themselves.
Okay.
And they ask themselves, why is it that the people are preferring military to democracy?
Yes, it's true.
Because yesterday we saw on TV everywhere
Jubilation
people
in Gabon.
jubilating. So they're supposed to ask themselves that question. The antidote to is good governance. If there is good governance, nobody will call in the army. Let there be good governance. Let there be government of the people.
Okay.
For the people and by the people. That is the only way to avoid truth. And again, our own father and the president of this country, Bola Tinubu, should learn a great lesson from what is happening. He should learn a great lesson. Now, the whole reason of war has been expanded. We cannot fight again whether we like it or not. Because we don't even know where the wind of French, the Bloto, next time. Let African countries, let them work for the welfare of the people, not their own. Nepotism, corruption should be avoided, eliminated in the political life of the African people. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
I thank God. I thank God. Bless you all.
And bless you too. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. All right, with that, I will draw the curtain today on the press, coming to you live from the Abuja studios of KAFTAN Television. Do stay tuned to KAFTAN Television, and don't forget to join us tomorrow on the press for more analysis on the headlines that might pop up tomorrow on our national dailies. My name is Sandra Agu. Enjoy the rest of the day and see you later.